Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Borough Council meeting for November 18th, 2025. If you could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Grace?
Mr. Kliskevich?
Here.
Mr. Whistler?
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here. I'd like to report on our last executive session. We discussed matters of real estate. No action was taken. Now is the time for public comment on agenda items only. Does anyone have any comments?
Can you pull the mic down a little closer? Thank you. It's not hearing me.
Okay, Ken.
Okay.
Ken.
Okay, seeing no comments. Ken, item number 1.
Do I have a motion to approve council meeting minutes for the November 5th, 2025 meeting as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2.
Do I have a motion to approve payment of bills as shown on the accounts payable list dated November 13th, 2025, which is for the period of October 30th through November 13th, 2025, and to ratify approval of such bills already paid and to authorize the appropriate officials to take the required actions to make those payments?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3.
Do I have a motion to approve payment number 15 to Hayden Power Group, which is on invoice 09048 in the amount of $265,554 as recommended by Ashblund Engineering Services for construction work at the Spruce Street substation?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 4.
Do I have a motion to enter into the annual winter maintenance agreement with PennDOT for the 25-2026 season?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Hang on, Jim.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it, we're not giving any back, right? We're not giving any roads back.
No.
Okay.
It's not a street swap, it's just a maintenance
No,
agreement.
yeah,
Yeah, this is for winter maintenance agreement.
yeah. They're taking Ann Street. They're doing Ann Street for sure.
No, this is our annual winter maintenance agreement. Where it says that we plow
Yes.
the roads and they provide, liquid fuel funds to us for those roads. And
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Anyone else? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5.
in your packet, you have Resolution 2025-2022, which is a motion to adopt that resolution, authorizing the execution of a 5-year cable franchise agreement between the Borough of Middletown and Verizon Pennsylvania LLC.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I suggest we table this. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ian.
I just suggest we table this so we can get some more data and information from the Cohen Law Group. I'd like to actually talk with them maybe in executive session directly on the phone.
I also have a comment. So on September 16th of 2025, we had a public hearing in these chambers concerning the agreement, the minutes from that meeting, and this statement was read by our borough manager, that this is a public hearing. There's a quote, "This public hearing is part of the preliminary portion of franchise renewal in which the borough reviews the cable operator's past performance and identifies the borough's future cable-related community needs. Franchise renewal is the best opportunity for municipalities to assert their rights with respect to their cable operator and obtain important benefits in return for granting the cable operator the right to use their public rights-of-way." We then had one resident of the public stand up about concerns about certain cables downtown. I then, I was by phone that night, but after that first comment from a member of the public, Mr. Klein Peters shed some light on those concerns. He said, quote, "We have made our special legal counsel aware of those concerns, along with the lack of maintenance of unused services to try to get better teeth into the franchise agreement to deal with those issues. That is an issue that has been noted by other municipalities who are jointly pursuing this negotiation with our legal people from Cohen Law Group. So that is something we're going to do, so we'll note that," end quote. I then gave public comment on the record. I said, just to piggyback so that the provider understands how big of an issue it is for us, the maintenance of abandoned and dead cable is something I've talked about for years, and I am glad to hear that that is going to be addressed in this renewal. That has to be cleared up because it is a disaster for the aesthetic of this town and has gone on for far too long. It's my understanding that this agreement does not actually have any teeth to force them to do that. I understand from, I just asked Ken right before we were coming in here that Cohen Law Group is saying that because Verizon is PUC regulated that we can't have specific language. I would like to see if someone from Eckert Siemens could answer that question, or if we could get some further information, as Ian pointed out, because this has been many, many years of discussing the same thing, and I think it's just disgusting that they can leave dead and unused cables the way they have. There are things hanging from poles. There's rats nests of wires up on the telephone poles. I just think that signing this for 5 years and saying that there's a customer service number we could call if we're concerned does not address what we were getting at.
I concur with that. We talked about it in September. I read the document. I didn't see it. I certainly could have missed it, but Ian, is that the point you wanted to bring up also?
Yeah, at the end of the day, there may be nothing this body can do, but I would like to take the opportunity to maybe have a conversation with Cohen Law Group in executive session, maybe get Eckert Siemens advice on it, and if it comes out that there's nothing we can do, I'm more than happy to vote for this at the next meeting or the next opportunity. But I think it doesn't hurt anything tonight to table it, to have another week or two to gather some data.
Is it time sensitive?
No, you can do it in the next meeting.
Okay.
I think the concern I have is that,
Yeah.
you know, Ken obviously did what he needed to do, and we were on the record at a paid hearing, and clearly our attorney, Cohen Law Group, reviewed that transcript. So he saw what Mr. Still said, he saw what I said, he saw what Jared Knobb said, he saw what Ian Redinger said, he saw what Ken Kleinpeter said that he expressed to him, and yet from then until now, they never came back and said, by the way, we cannot do what your people said on the record. That's not an administration's fault, anyone here. I think the communication from Cohen Law has been poor in that regard, because they clearly read the transcript. So if it just wasn't possible, we should have had an email from our attorney that said, by the way, what was discussed at your public hearing is not possible.
Right, right.
So I just moved to table this item.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's already a motion in a second.
You're right, there is a motion.
Takes a vote on the motion that's on the floor, and then if it fails, then you can,
Or it could be withdrawn.
yeah, or it can be.
I'll withdraw it.
Okay, then, item number 5 is tabled.
Well, you need to get an official motion in a second.
Okay.
I move to table agenda item number 5.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in, oh,
Yes, I have a question. So you're saying you want to have a call with them in executive session?
I would like to speak with a representative from Cohen Law. We've never heard, or at least I've never heard from them. I don't know if any of you've ever talked to them. Like I said, there may be nothing we can do, and that may be the realistic of it, and then I'll vote for it. But
But it's worth
I think
following
I
up.
think they owe us at least that much of a phone call.
No, I was just making sure that I understood. And I mean, does it have to be executive session?
I don't
Like,
think-
could they come here and have another presentation?
No, they're not gonna come here, I don't think. They're from Pittsburgh.
It would be up to this body. I mean, if you want legal advice, the recommendation would be to do that in
Right,
executive
right.
session. If you're just looking for them to give a presentation, then that's different.
Are we obligated to sign this? What if we just decided not to sign?
I have not reviewed the agreement because Cohen Law Group has been engaged by counsel
Okay.
to
Okay.
draft that.
I spoke with Cohen today after Jim raised the question this morning. I got some more information, but Jim is correct that, they didn't say, hey, that thing you asked for, we can't get it in. When the final draft of the agreement showed up late October, it wasn't in there. The thing that they wanted wasn't in there, and I didn't realize it wasn't in there probably till first week in November. And so I didn't get an opportunity to talk to Cohen until today. And Counselor Redinger and Mayor would like to hear from them directly instead of from me. What I heard, they'd like to hear directly. And what I heard was we tried. That language you wanted, or very similar languages in the Comcast agreement now. We tried to get it in Verizon, and they denied putting it in. They wouldn't move, and they wouldn't budge on that. Their response was that they are governed by the PUC, and the PUC has standards for installation and repairs, and they follow those. And they're not going to entertain standards from individual municipalities. So I did some other research on my own, not just talking to Cohen, online, and found out that the Federal Telecommunications Act of 1996 is what gives Verizon the authority to be in our right-of-ways. So they have federal authority to be there. So it appears to me, and then talking to Cohen, that if you didn't, Cohen says really you can try to get these things in, but you're really negotiating the fee they pay you for these franchise agreements, and what the late fees would be and those sorts of things. But they didn't want to go beyond with any more explicit technical maintenance standards because they claim that that's the authority of the PUC. Comcast does not fall under the PUC. They're not.
It's hard to hear you.
Comcast does not fall under the PUC. Verizon does. And there is a basic difference there. If you don't agree to the franchise fee, I don't know. We have to talk to a lawyer. We can talk to CONET, but I would think you wouldn't get your fees if you don't have an agreement. The fees are about $24,000 a year that we receive. And I said to Cohen, what if we didn't? Would they have to get out of town? Well, he said, well, that'd be a long, legal, drawn-out process because now you're going to federal court because of the Federal Telecommunications Act gives them the right to be there. And it's kind of like telling UGI to get out of town. Get all your lines up and get out. So, not that you don't have recourse, but, it's a long shot.
One more thing that I'll say is I'd rather hear from Eckert Siemens than Cohen. That's just my position, because what Verizon just represented to you is we're not putting that in there. We're governed by the PUC. Yet the issue has existed for years. We've been talking about it for years, and they've been governed by the PUC. So clearly, we do not have the teeth because we have made complaints, and nothing's happened. So I'd rather hear from Eckert Siemens than the guy that wants to get the deal done.
Bless you.
I'm in agreement with that. Hear from our people, their thoughts.
can take that back.
Okay.
Every council wants it?
Yes,
If
yeah,
That's the direction.
that makes sense, 'cause you're looking out for us, so.
Thank you. Thanks.
Are we ready to vote?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 5 is tabled. Number 6?
Do I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-23, requesting a grant from the Commonwealth Financing Authority's local share accounting grant for sidewalk curb project?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Can you elaborate a little bit on this, please, Mr. Kleinpeter?
We are trying to get a grant application together to the state gaming grant for monies to replace sidewalk and curb along our open space properties on Hopper, Few, and Maple, where most of those properties are. About 400, it's estimated to be a $497,000 project, and the LSA grant does not require a match.
That's awesome. Do we have any funds in the budget if we wouldn't get this grant for 2026 to make these repairs?
We do not. We listed this on our capital improvement plan as one of the unfunded projects that we have. So we haven't, as a borough, identified any other funds to do that. So we thought this would be a good project to put in for a gaming grant.
Excellent, thank you. I'm good.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7.
Do I have a motion to authorize the borough manager to sign the agreement between the borough and the Red Cross designating the MCSO as available for use during disasters and emergencies?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8.
Do I have a motion to advertise ordinance 2025-1427, creating a special fund for the improvement, beautification, and maintenance of Middletown Borough's Town Square?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh,
It's okay.
Ooh.
It's fine.
opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9.
Okay, that's my report. If you look at my report, you'll see that we've already covered the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items on my report have already been voted upon. The 6th item there is some information, and there is a quote in your packet where I contacted 4 different security companies and requested a quote for security services at our meeting. Only one company, Invictus, responded, and that quote is included in your packet. Basically, it's $45 an hour for an armed guard, should you want to retain their services.
Ken, is this a contract involved with that? Or is it like a one-time thing, or what's the deal there?
As needed. He said it could be one-time thing, it can be whatever you want it to be. Anything else? Okay, item number 7 there. Myself and the highway superintendent met with the president of the Pennsylvania Pump Primers group regarding their potential for maybe using Susquehanna Park as a site for their July 2026 muster. I think we mentioned this at a previous meeting that they were in. Someone contacted or talked to the mayor at our car show, our fireworks and car show, and they contacted me, and this meeting is a second communication. Now, only this is with the president of the association, who had a little more information for me than the person who originally contacted us, who was just a member. The president said their decision is still up in the air. There is a possibility that Harrisburg, a water authority, is going to possibly be able to put off their project till beyond July of next year, which would allow the muster to still happen in Harrisburg. But they are game planning if that doesn't happen. What are their other options? They have two other options they're looking at. The one, they approach Middletown to use our Susquehanna fields, and they also approach Millersburg for their park. So their group was, their president was here asking a lot of questions, from what fees would we charge, what help would be available, those sorts of things, and we told him what we could. We told him that the Borough Council would approve it as a special event. There wouldn't be fees other than if there's some excessive or some amount of police service you may need. They may want to look at that as an issue, because one of the things that they do, it's for those who don't know what this Pennsylvania Pump Primers muster is, and all our fire people in the group know, it's kind of an annual convention of people with antique fire trucks, and they all get together, and then there's like a swap meet that's held with that, where vendors come up with old nozzles and things like that other people and collectors want to buy for their truck. And during this, I don't know how long the event is, day-long event, it's no more than one day. They do some demonstrations, some of the people with their trucks. They would spray it out into the Susquehanna River and let them prime their pumps and see if their trucks work. Here, they wouldn't be able to do that because they don't have access to the river. In Millersburg, they say they have a place where they can spray their water into the woods or field. But they like our site for other reasons, because number one, it's bigger, and two, it's more centralized to hotels, motels, because some of these trucks in the muster, I think they said they had 120 trucks last year. Some of them come from like 9 to 13 states. Wow. They'll come in for this. So that's what we know about now. We gave them a special event application should they decide they want to approach Middletown Council about having this next year. He said it happens the second week of July every year. It's a Saturday when it happens, second Saturday of July. And they have things for kids, They talked about getting availability to hook little 1-inch hoses up the fire hydrants so kids can actually be supervised and put out a fire, see the trucks. They will have food, but they don't allow food vendors to come in. They do all the food sales themselves. He said that's how they make their money for the next year's muster. So it's an event to draw people into town. He said one thing they could do here in Middletown they're looking at is what they did in Harrisburg is they'd like to have their motorcade, where it's almost like a parade of old antique fire trucks that go through town and end up down at the park for the muster. So they're investigating that too. So that's what I can tell you about that now. We'll just stay tuned and see if they come back to us, and we'll get more information on that.
I would love to steal this event from Harrisburg, and if we could no, I'm being serious, and if we could figure out a way to get them to be able to, shoot their trucks, I'm all for it. I think this would be something that'd be really cool to have for the borough, to have for our community, and if we can steal it from if we can show them a better time than Harrisburg, and make it a win, maybe it could be an annual thing.
Yeah, I know that a lot of friends who have young kids will go to Harrisburg for this event. So this is like a big deal if it comes here.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, why wouldn't they have river access?
Here?
Yeah.
Our tree line.
But can they shoot it into the
There
tree?
they would pull up on that concrete walk.
Yeah.
It's all along the river. They pull their trucks in there and pump out of the river and right back in.
They would do that, okay.
And they can't do the same thing here where they just pump out of the river and shoot into the,
We don't have the frontage like that.
Mm-mm.
You know, they could line, of the 120 trucks, there might be 15, 20 trucks that do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here, if
Yeah.
we got permission from the
Boat.
boat commission, you might be able to get 2 trucks doing it out there, but I think the other thing is we have to look at is we have power lines down there. You know, Med Ed has power lines that run along that tree line, and you won't be spraying water around those.
they get rained on.
Rain is different than somebody holding a hose.
Yeah, especially all that pressure coming in.
Okay, any other questions on that? All right, number 8 is giving you the information we received from Woodland Hills. They completed their traffic signal study. They're at the intersection of Union Street and Sage Boulevard from the high school, and it does not meet the PennDOT warrants for a signal at this time.
Really?
It's astounding.
Yeah.
What does that mean at this time? Because wasn't that projected into the plan that they would need to put a light there?
When it meets warrants.
What does that mean? Just there has to be more traffic?
Yeah, when there's enough of congestion there that warrants a signal. PennDOT won't let you put a signal up just because you want a signal.
Right.
It's gotta have a certain amount of traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be inevitable, because as soon as the stuff that's built across from the high school comes on,
Yeah.
they're backed up all the way up that road now in the morning, and once that other development, whatever you wanna call it, is across from the high school, there's no way that it's not gonna warrant it then, but you could still be looking at a couple years out,
When do they
which
do
is
that?
disappointing.
They'll just do it yearly or what? Or just when we instruct?
Yeah, the agreement says that, I think it says every 2 years, but,
Okay.
I had our solicitor look at it, and he has a take that we could probably get around that by the wording that's in there. But,
Gotcha.
it's gonna create an interesting dynamic with the new school buildings.
Right.
Because they had their own traffic study done
Mm-hmm.
that indicated with the volumes that they're gonna put on there, they need a signal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, they got a new school coming
Makes
in out
sense.
there.
But they don't have an agreement with anybody that says pay for a signal. Woodland Hills, we have the agreement with Woodland Hills that says we're allowing you to build this in our, but when the signal's needed, you're paying for it.
What the school district pay for it?
Well, that's what I mean, it's an interesting dynamic. Are they gonna have to
Right.
start talking to each other about this?
I mean, are we kinda just like the monkey in the middle in this equation, or?
Our school district is, I think.
Because me personally, what we pay in school taxes, and this is, let them do it. My personal opinion, why make our community and residents, Woodland Hills, let them pay for it? It's my opinion.
What, the school district
Yeah.
pay for it?
Hell, let the school district pay for it.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on that? Number 9, just giving you some information there that, we received our invitation from Dauphin County Gaming Board to make our presentation for our grant request, for the, gaming grant funds to help fund what I'm calling the Swedara Crossings Park in parentheses, because, that's what's on the documents, but I know, some members of council have discussed coming up with a different name for that might be more fitting, and we can do, we'll have to think about that, and, if we get this grant, and it's, we wanna start changing that name on the document at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Ken, real quick, was this for, I'm getting confused with the phases of the park. Maybe you can speak to this.
Phase 1,
Yes, this is for the first, we're waiting for the grant for the first phase.
yes,
Okay,
but we're also putting in other grants for the first phase.
gotcha.
We have a grant in to DCNR for phase 1. We have this grant here is the Dauphin County Gaming Grant for phase 1. And we've also asked Constellation Energy to provide us with an application, which you haven't received yet, I guess, for their grant program, which they verbally told us they would be interested in entertaining that.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do now at this point with the gaming grant and the Constellation, which I'll have to get back with Dave Marcheski, and find out what's happening there. What we're trying to do is cover our match with these other grants.
I gotcha.
And if we can cover our match, we can free up our money for the second phase match.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So what does this look like for like, timeframe? Are you saying like 2027, this could potentially start?
We should
Breaking
hear
ground
from
or what?
We should hear from DCNR sometime this year,
Okay.
whether we're getting it. But until contracts are in place, it'll be next year sometime. This gaming grant, we won't hear about that until, this time next year.
Hmm.
So the project could be started by that point if we get the DCNR, but if the grant money comes through, we can apply it.
Yep.
Back to that project.
Okay. Great.
In your agreement, you'll see there's a report I put in there about the county rep program. Just gives you an update on where we're at there with the rep program and which communities are still involved in that and the benefits and how they use the money so far and what the steps are. One of the things that we're doing through the rep is we're leveraging the county people to put in a grant for Middletown to receive money to restore the stream bank along the Swadara Creek there at Huffer Park. There's a significant amount of erosion on that steep stream bank there. It's starting to get up close to the fence that's at the edge of the park. And if they're successful, we'll have that funded through the REP, that stream bank restoration. So another benefit that we're getting out of being in that program. And that stream bank restoration, I think, will count for credits for everybody in the program. One thing that I don't have on the report, I'm just going to give you a heads up on. We'll have, I'd like to put on the agenda for your business meeting, safety manual that was adopted, I think it was in 1997 by council. And our safety committee has just finished reviewing that and has some updates, revisions they want to make to it, or have made to it. So I want to bring that to you to get your official stamp of approval on the revised edition that we can put in place.
Okay,
And that's all I have.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 10, Jason?
Good evening. Looking at my report, about 40 open violations, standard statistics, 10 rental complaints and 12 property complaints for October. The other one of importance that we were looking forward to was the sheds on the borough property down at the Susquehanna. We are approaching those 30 days on the 24th officially, and nothing has been communicated to us in regards to seeking compliance. So I believe there will be discussion of what to do going forward with that as a whole from council.
Jason, excuse me, did you want us to talk about that tonight or after next workshop after the 30 days is?
I was told that there was a letter by our solicitor that was also sent.
Yeah,
so we may want to
which
wait.
was received.
Yeah, we may want to wait after that.
I understand.
30 days, the 30 days is the 30 days.
30 days would be the 24th of November.
The letter was dated November 6th, so 30 days is going to be December 6th, I would say.
For the solicitor letter. My letter was,
Oh, your letter.
yeah,
Well, who gave 30 days, you or the solicitor letter?
maybe both.
The solicitor letter gave 30 days on the sheds
Yeah.
and the
So we'll have a meeting right around the 30-day mark?
It'll be December 2nd.
Okay.
We
But maybe at that one, we should be prepared to say there's 4 days left.
We can also give, staff and the solicitor instructions during executive session on how we want to proceed with, non-compliance. Doesn't have to be here, doesn't have to, I mean, it could even be tonight in the executive session. Doesn't have to be here at the table. I'm sorry.
Nope,
Thank you,
you're
thank
good.
you for your update.
Yep. The fourth update here, last year we discussed about scanning the entire resource documents, maps in the resource room. We have about $10,000 more yet to spend over the $30,000. Codes has money for that budget to cover that. There were just more documents than estimated with all the folds and the rolls and the tubes. So we're going to get those all cleaned up and cleared up. Delivery will be starting here by the end of Thanksgiving, and it should be finalized here maybe by the end of the year or the beginning of next year. So, and other, it's just normal ordinance draft revisions that we're discussing and codes awareness. Any questions? Yeah.
Back to number 3.
Yeah.
So, okay, there are 3 organizations, correct?
Mhm.
I thought one of the organizations was already in compliance.
That organization is up at Fry Park.
Right.
They're fully in compliance.
Okay, so one is in compliant, one is,
Halfway. They're trying to get the flood vents ordered and installed into the sheds.
okay, and then
But
the
they are
third is
anchored.
on the 30-day notice.
They have nothing.
Okay, all right, because when I was reading this, it looked like the one that I thought was in compliance was not, but
Mhm.
they are, the one at Fry.
It's
Okay.
fully compliant.
Okay.
Of the 4 in the city of Sheds, which of the 4 are the 30-day non-compliant?
The 2, there's just 2.
Right.
I think it's the one
Closer to the
closer
water.
to the creek. Yeah.
Boat launch.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. Item number 11, Rob?
Good evening. We've been continuing out at Woodland this month. We also assisted in removing and installing the family Christmas tree. So now we'll be working on decorating the tree, installing the service panels and lights, installing the historic light decorations, the street garland, and repairing or replacing the downtown tree lights. And our engineers will be in tomorrow to extract data from our Mill Street relays. And that is so we can see how much load we have at each substation out at Spruce and out at Mill. So we can properly size a generation project. And then once we have that information, we'll be working with GDS and our solicitor to develop the structure and language for an RFP.
That's great.
Spruce Street update, the old substation transformers and all the equipment in there has been removed and the ground grid completed. All the cable pulls to the riser poles are complete and just waiting to be tested. And the fencing around the entire substation will start within a week or so. And 3 outages since last report: squirrel contact, blown lightning arrestor, which caused the entire circuit to trip for about 10 minutes or so. And then a customer panel fault actually went back to the transformer and caused the fuse to blow. And no action items at this time. Questions?
While we're talking about panel outages, power outages, did anybody see the post that the Londonderry Fire Department put up about a week ago? Apparently there was a Med-Ed line down on Swider Creek Road that caused a fire in the field.
Yep.
The fire department had to wait 2.5 hours before they could get the line de-energized to put the fire out, I guess.
Ooh.
And there were a number of comments on there, and some people saying their power was out for up to 20 hours from that event.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I saw that.
Customers panel?
Yeah. Customers panel, well, they came out and said they smelled like smoke, and we went in, their panel was faulting.
Well,
so that's what caused the fuse to blow and the block to drop power.
What was just out of curiosity, what was the manufacturer of the panel?
Federal Pacific.
I knew you were gonna say that.
What was it?
Federal Pacific, I call Federal Pathetic or Fire Protection, but Federal Pacific.
Are
Yeah,
they
it was
bad?
pretty old.
Yeah,
They're
they're fire hazards. Insurance companies won't even write on them.
Are they the glass fuse or are they?
No.
They,
They're
flip-
they have like a black breaker with a red kind of like color to it. It's black and red breaker.
Really?
Yeah. FPE,
Yeah.
fire protection, Federal Pathetic.
Okay.
What's up, the substation, what's the timeline with that? What are they thinking till it's done?
Stage of completion is December and final completion is in January.
January, I forget what day.
That doesn't
That's not too long.
that doesn't seem like that's possible from my view. And I don't know anything about it. It just doesn't look like it's done by then.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, it looks like there's quite a bit left to do, but they seem confident.
Okay.
That was very diplomatic.
I like that, that's good.
May I say something? I know you're up here, but it's gonna go for you and Matt and also, Public Safety Director Dan Wright. I just wanted to say that you did, as always, an excellent job with the tree light, the Middletown Family Christmas tree, cutting it down, transporting it, having all the ducks in a row for the truck and the permit, and the signs and the escort. I just wanted to thank you once again. It's been a real pleasure and honor working with all of you over, 10 years to do this. One of the updates he gave when he says installing the historic light decorations, about those wraps with the bows. They actually got the outlets at the top of all the historic poles that, they now trip with the photo cell for the light, which is awesome. So instead of it just being hot all the time, where then the garland would be lit up all day, that outlet's gonna trip with the light at nighttime. So you have real great people here. And I just wanna say thank you to all three departments for all these years of that. Thank you. Downtown
Welcome.
looks great too.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Rob, may I ask a quick question on item 16? At this time, would you be able to venture any kind of timeline for moving forward on behind the meter project?
Well, the engineers are coming in tomorrow, and I mean, after they get that data and analyze it, and then we meet with GDS again, I think we'd be able to give a better timeline.
After you meet with GDS?
Yeah.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thanks, Rob. Item number 13, Fire Department.
Finance, 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. 12, Finance Department.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Hi,
Or
Sydney.
Sydney.
Just a few things on here to bring to your attention. The first one is that I'm requesting approval to transfer the remaining funds from the Homestead Loan Program to the Park Sinking Fund in the amount of $128,615.09. We did make a formal request to DCED to authorize the reuse of these funds for the pool property project, to fill in any areas that aren't already going to be covered by match money or grant money.
Okay, that's great.
Great.
Mhm.
And then I'm also recommending that the current $2.5 million that we have invested in a fixed Treasury security investment with PedsLAF be rolled over for an additional 1-year term. We don't have an exact interest rate at this point in time, but it will be between 3.4 to 3.5%. And then last is there's a list of records in your packets there that I'm requesting be shredded in 2025. It's approximately 20 boxes that Shred It will come and pick up on site to go shred off site in December. Okay. Any questions?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Number 13, Fire Department. I don't see anyone here. Item number 14, Matt?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Leaf pickup continues. We're kind of in the heart of it right now, but it's going well. Seems to be progressing along. All of the staff here at Borough Hall received actual fire extinguisher training last week. Everyone got to put out a little fire outside. So they all had some classroom as well as hands-on training for that last week. So people were excited to get outside and do that. I only have one action item this evening, and that would to be approved the memorandum of understanding to have the borough and the Peyton Walker Foundation to have them provide a AED down at Hoffer Park. It's a program, and they fund external AEDs. We would mount this on the main pavilion. We have to provide power to it. It's heated, so it stays good in all temperatures and everything. It is alarmed. Does have a GPS tracker on it, so we would know where it goes and when it's not in its home port. The young lady that reached out to us, her goal, she's a tennis player, and her goal is to have each park in Dauphin County that has at least one tennis court have an AED by the end of 2026. So we reached out to her, and the MOU would just be the next piece of the puzzle in that process. Basically, we would agree to own the AED and maintain it as needed. My review of it, there's no specific time frame. It doesn't say we have to have it for X amount of years or anything like that, but it would be a good process for us to get a free AED in one of the most popular parks we have.
And so the tennis courts at Hoffer Park qualified us for this
Yes.
program?
We have to have at least one tennis court.
Did she see them?
Yes. She said she's very familiar with Hoffer Park.
Very good.
So, yeah. I think there's a picture in your packet of what the external mounting would look like. So, yeah, it'll be a nice addition.
What keeps people from messing with it? Is there like a camera on it or something?
It's alarmed and it has a GPS tracker on the unit itself.
That's pretty neat.
So if somebody pulls it off, where does the GPS tracker go? Do you know?
We get 1 year of free service for it. We have to subscribe to it, then it'll go to like someone's phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we choose to maintain it after that, we would just have a subscription fee after the first year.
If it wasn't part of this program, how much would one of these units cost?
The AED itself is a few $1,000s, and then I haven't priced the external housing and everything. It's lighted, it's heated. I would imagine there's a significant cost for the external mount, the little thing that it goes in, little house per se.
Yeah, pretty neat, man. I've never seen that before at a park. That's cool.
No, I wouldn't mind having them at all the parks, especially the new big pool project park. It's going to be
Big project.
that'd be a perfect place for something like that. A lot of foot traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Channel 21 covered it. There was some news blurbs on it. 2 parks just received theirs this week, as a matter of fact. So she's really spearheading the process to get around through the county and get as many of these out as she can. It's a great program.
Any other questions?
I got a question about the holiday decorations in Hoffer Park. When was the last time we got anything new in there? I'm just curious.
The mayor may be more, I believe the last large thing that we got was the menorah.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was probably about 5 or 6 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is just a thought, and act on it if you want. Every time I go to Sweet Lights every year in Hershey, and if anybody ever went there, they have tons of them lights, and it seems like they change it up. They have different things. I'm just wondering what they do with the stuff that they stopped using. You know.
When I reached out previously about that,
Oh, you did?
Sweet Lights changes out about 25% of theirs every year.
Yeah.
we could do a similar program with Riley's. They would start us with all new decorations. They wouldn't really give us much for the ones that we have. And we basically lease them from them, that they would come and put them up. They would take them back with them. That's how they have a large enough inventory to mix and match with all their various people. It's costly.
They don't own them. Hershey doesn't own them, you're saying?
Correct. Yep.
That's what I was thinking. Like, the old ones, would they just like, donate them?
I saw where you were going with that, purchase their used inventory, but.
It's interesting that you, you brought that up because, back when we were doing fundraisers for those and then the Borough Council, bought some decorations, it was neat because it was something different down there. They are commercial grade, they're very sturdy, they're well made. But now it is the same thing every single year. There hasn't been a desire or an ability with our tight budgeting to add to it every year. So I actually did start to have some conversations about whether certain entities in town would sponsor the park. That if we engaged Riley's and said, okay, we'll do this thing where you're gonna be the ones that come in and set it up and you're gonna be the ones that take it down, and then every year the display is different, could we have these entities sponsor it so that we don't have to pay for this, that there's a way to do it. In fact, I had one of those meetings at 6:30 tonight. So that's something that I would like to speak to Riley's about. I think they've even taken a image from our park from Google Maps or something, so they know the approximate square footage and the frontage of the going in and coming back out. But that is, I think instead of buying any more decorations down there, especially with how much effort it takes, Miss Lloyd knows that, other people who have served know that, and now the team here knows that. It might be beneficial if entities are willing to sponsor it to just do that. And then it becomes a destination for people to come into town because it's different every year. And it would make them want to visit.
I like that idea. Maybe then you have like the business can put up their signs along the different visual lights things. I think businesses would do that. Wow. Interesting.
Do we know just a ballpark cost? You said it's costly to do the leasing program. I'm sure it depends on how many light displays and.
Go ahead.
I think it's been 2 or 3 years. Jim and I, we talked about this previously. It's been a while. The displays are pretty expensive.
If you don't have it, it's fine. I mean,
I will say, with what we have down there, I would not be opposed to, if there was an interest from the borough and we had some commitments from entities that they were willing to sponsor that idea, that we could municipal what we have. And I think that you could bring in, I already know some other municipalities that might be interested in what we have. And then you could sell that, gain money, have it in a pot. Not only do you have the entities that have pledged, we also have it that we can chip in. And at least you have something that's jump-started.
Huh.
That is kind of the trade-off. Right now we own them, so we don't have any payments beyond purchasing them. The Rileys, with cycling them in and out, it will just be an ongoing expense all the time.
Right.
It never stops. Basically, you're leasing the different displays.
That's why you need an annual commitment from entities that are willing to do it.
Do you have a list already?
Of entities?
Yeah.
No, don't have a list. But I had a nice conversation tonight, and I'm hopeful. But I think it warrants, since it's been probably 2 or 3 years since Matt and I had that conversation with Riley's, to ask, what are we even talking about in terms of the number?
Do you have a number?
No, I don't have the number. I have to.
It's a good idea to keep going over the next year.
Sure.
Great.
One more comment on that, Jim. As we were talking about this, I was thinking, I don't know how many decorations we have in inventory. I don't know what all the pieces are. I know we have a lot. I know we have some nice stuff. And municipal some of the items might be a great idea, but some of the nicer ones, like a handful, we could keep and we could stick down at the pool, the new, that area down there, as a very minor display just to give another section of town some light.
Mm-hmm.
There may be like 4 pieces. I'm making a number up there, like, hey, we really like him.
Yeah, they
We
got
can-
trees and deer that would be great there.
We have a brand new park area. Staff can easily deploy these 4 pieces every year, and
That's a nice
get rid of
idea.
the rest of the inventory, and that gives another section, because you have your tree up at one section, you would have this down on top of park, you would have these here, so you're kind of
Yeah,
blanketing
something
the
to think about.
town with some Christmas cheer.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Good idea.
just a thought, just a thought.
I was thinking if we don't need to go, I was just thinking if we held on to a few of the nicer ones, and if there was a year that the fundraising was a little thin, for whatever reason, we could always fill in.
Sure.
You know, we could fill in the gaps ourselves, but
I mean, some of that stuff, I mean, it's been a while now, but the Cannonball Arch, that thing had to be $10,000.
Oh yeah, we spent some money
They're
on
much more than that.
$12,000, so I mean.
there's some nice things
We
down
spent
there.
some money down there.
I would
Very
never
nice.
guess that.
Yeah,
They're-
yeah.
It's
Very
more than
nice
that now.
things.
Oh my god.
The menorah is beautiful.
Yeah, I would like to keep the menorah.
Well, we have to keep that because it was
Wasn't
donated.
it donated?
Wow.
And we should have that,
Yeah.
as well as the nativity.
But those are a couple of nice pieces that would fit
Mhm.
really nice at a new
Mhm.
new park and a new green space.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Okay,
Glad I brought it
So-
up.
thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything?
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Number 15 is Mara. There's a packet in your packet from the meeting last night.
It was a good meeting.
It was the last meeting of the year. They discussed basketball. You know, that's the up and coming thing for right now. And, they will not be doing anything with our fields anymore. At none of the municipality fields.
What do you mean? What were they doing?
Well, they were scheduling fields, but they're not gonna do that anymore.
Fields for what?
People that wanna use them. Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like we get less and less out of that organization.
Well, there's new people running the programs, and there's a new person running the board. So,
I'm getting good feedback from pickleball, so that's good.
That is good.
I'm thinking about that New York trip.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
okay.
Look at this later. I didn't see it.
Number 16, police report.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Dan.
Hi.
Dan,
Staffing update, I mentioned last meeting that we were having a resignation. Officer Manley resigned effective 11/9/2025. I'm requesting an action item to authorize the department to test and have civil service provide a list for hiring. That would probably occur after the beginning of the year. We wouldn't be able to get anybody into the academy before the beginning of the year. Civil service regs authorize council to allow me to send somebody through the academy, but I'm required to ask every time that I request a hire process, so I'm requesting that this time also. There were also 3 side agreements with the union that we've utilized over the past few years to hire. I will be getting those together and requesting authorization for those side agreements at a later date, but I want to get the ability to hire down first so we can start planning a hire date. The hire date will not be impacted by the side agreements. If you choose not to approve the side agreements again this time, we'll still attempt to hire. But I'll remind you quickly of what the 3 side agreements were. All 3 of them were successful in us hiring people. The first one was reimbursement of the academy expense for someone who's currently in the academy. So we would send letters to pre-service cadets who aren't assigned to a department yet. Tell them, come work for Middletown and we'll pay you back your academy expense. That was one. Another one was a signing bonus and a lateral transfer of up to 3 years if you're already an existing police officer. We hired Officer Shirk from the Capitol Police using that side agreement, and he's worked out well. The other one was the ability to send you through the academy and pay your salary at the time. And if you left after before a certain period of time, you'd be required to pay us back. All three of those agreements were successful in us being able to hire police officers for the borough. So tonight, I'm asking you to have on your next business meeting approving me testing and having civil service prepare a hire list. Prior to that test date, I'll bring the side agreements to you. And I don't have them yet now because I know the tuition for the academy in 2026 will be higher than it was for the previous side agreements. The community events, the Halloween parade went off without a hitch. Trick or treat went well also. The town was packed. There were kids everywhere. Giant sponsored the candy for the police department. They brought less than previous years. Not sure why. They were limited on what they could bring. We ran out of candy in like 45 minutes. So we stopped up at Giant and bought some more and ended up having enough for the entire event. Upcoming events, we have the tree lighting coming up. I have several fire police lined up to assist us primarily with the carriage rides. They'll be stationed at the intersections throughout the carriage rides and make sure there's no interference from traffic or anybody else with the carriages. We also have the Frosty 5K coming up. That's December 5th? 6th. I have fire police lined up for that also. The Nixle agreement is on my report. I think the last time we signed up for Nixle, it was a 3-year contract. The contract's not required anymore. It's just an automatic renewal that will occur year after year. So there's no need to necessarily approve the Nixle agreement as a contract. It's just going to be an annual expense. And that's an expense that's shared 50% between the police department and the admin. And Nixle currently is used for major catastrophes or major events or snow emergencies or things that are not informational. That's currently how we're using it. But I just wanted to make sure that you knew it's not a contract anymore. It's just a recurring expense.
Isn't there a structural change too, as well as the amount of
There's
posts you can put out?
Yeah, and that happened during the last contract. It used to be an unlimited use platform similar to what Crime Watch is now. There's now, you pay for a certain amount of credits. We get 500,000 credits, which limits how many times you can post and how you post. I believe if you use an email, there's no credits associated with it. But if you're sending a text or reverse phone calls, where you get a phone call that says, hey, snow emergency, that's where the credits start applying. So it's not like we only get 4 or 5 posts, but we don't get unlimited posts. 500,000 credits is more than adequate for what we're currently using it for.
Do you know how many people are signed up for Nixle?
I can go on the website and I don't know how many are signed up, but there's records of how many went out. So
yeah, that's,
say, 3,000 phone calls, 2,000 emails, 1,500 SMS text messages, those kinds of things. I can have that for the next meeting.
Some of them might be duplicates. Like some people might get an email.
Many are probably duplicates. Any service I sign up for, I put email and phone number in, so you get it. Obviously, the best is a text message. Wherever you are, you will get that text message. Not everybody checks their email on their phone.
So Nixle sends out text messages.
They send out texts and they send out reverse phone calls also.
Yeah, I didn't know that we can get Nixle. I get a phone call, but I don't get text messages from Nixle.
Do you get emails?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you can get text also. And for snow emergencies, I check every box. So.
Good to know.
Anybody have any questions?
Dan, if I may, do we have any more information about the building, the Penn State building on the site that was Grandview or Demi Elementary? I know we thought it was going to be a dorm because I believe that's what we were told at the last time Penn State came and updated us on their master plan. But now you have found out it's not a dorm, it's a
Right.
research building?
Well, I originally thought it was going to be like off-campus student housing, like Nittany Place or something like that. We're talking about this, where the school used to be.
Where the elementary school, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The building that's under construction on campus is a classroom facility of some type. I was told, that the construction on the actual school site is some type of cooling towers or HVAC building system, that it's
Oh,
not going to be housing. But that's from the director of their police department. I have not been able to verify that from any of their building crews or anything along those lines. But it doesn't look like they're digging foundations or doing anything related to that, to a large building on that site right now.
okay.
But he's supposed to keep me in the loop if he hears anything else, so I'll keep on him.
Okay, yeah, keep an eye on it. And, but did you say once that we did conduct a traffic study? It's been a while.
We
To sort
did.
of look at Wharton, Roosevelt, and Spring.
We did, HRG did a traffic study, and I think I mentioned at the last meeting that I was gonna look it up and bring it back. I did not do that. I apologize for that. But they did a traffic study in that whole, area concerning, the one-way going, considering turning Wharton into a
Wharton and
one-way
one-way.
going into it. And that traffic study resulted in those speed humps on Spring Street. That's for the authorization for the, not the authorization, but the impetus for those speed
Yeah,
humps
the justification.
came out of that traffic study. Matt and I will dig it back up and we'll see if there's anything in there that can apply.
So the study did suggest that Wharton could be one-way going towards
It didn't
Union?
suggest, that was something we were suggesting as a
Hmm.
potential solution, just funneling all traffic onto campus. But, it didn't merit it based on what they determined from their numbers.
Oh. That was a question we had. The traffic
Right.
study did not bear it out.
Right, and I don't know if we said, hey, conduct a traffic study just because of Wharton. I think let's do a traffic study and see what recommendations come out of that traffic study. And that wasn't one of them. I mean, they knew that was something that we were interested in.
We had a question, sure.
But again, you ship everybody one way into campus, then everybody that lives at Nittany Place has to go down to 230, take a left, and then wait to take a left to go north on Spring. We already have backup from Maine at certain hours of the day, so everything you do has a counter.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but wasn't the impetus for this traffic study, the primary impetus was complaints of speeding in
Yes.
that area? And I think the traffic engineer suggested that going to one-way, when we brought up, what about one-way?
Right.
I think his response was sometimes speeding gets faster on one-way streets, because they know
Correct.
nobody's coming at them.
Mm-hmm.
So we went with the
interesting.
Right.
speed humps.
Hey, Dan?
Yes.
Can I get you to do a traffic study on Grant and Mud Pike?
We don't have the ability to do our own in-house traffic studies. You would have to authorize, council would have to authorize paying somebody to do a traffic study on that particular section of the borough.
Somebody needs to, because we're gonna have an accident out there.
If that's something you want done, that's something you'd have to discuss with your fellow councilors about funding something, because we don't have the internal ability to do it our own.
It's gonna have to be a one-way sooner or later.
Looking at you.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a one-way sooner or later. It's a cart path, and it's not
It's a narrow street.
designed for two cars at one time, and
People have to drive careful. There's no doubt about
you
it.
usually will meet somebody if you're coming up or going down. And sooner or later, I've seen it where it's near misses, and coming off of State Street onto Mud Pike, you meet somebody all the time. So, I don't know.
I'll check that out, Rochelle. Thanks for bringing that up. I'll go down there.
You wanna check it out? Go by the sewer plant. a lot of the times that's where you meet people.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, I'm serious. You come off of State Street
Uh-huh.
and somebody's coming down from Grant,
Yeah, yeah, I run back there. I know what you're talking about.
and you know, you come around DeVoe's house,
Yep.
and right there on that corner, you can always run into somebody. You'll meet somebody on that curve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know where you're talking.
So I don't remember because that traffic study was a while ago. How far did they go, down Spring at all? How far down Spring did they go?
And Catarmac can interrupt if I'm wrong, I believe it was Union and Main, north and west. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
Yeah, it was Union and Main, north and west. So it was pretty much that whole corridor, because the complaints, and this was soon after I was first hired, the complaints were pretty hot and heavy about speeding and stop sign issues. People cutting across what's north of Roosevelt, it's a straight shot all the way across. If you're coming south on Union, take a right on Roosevelt, there's no stop sign. It's a straight shot over to Catherine, and you know, professors, students, you know, the complaints were pretty specific. And the only action that came out of it was the speed humps, which have done their job as far as speeding on Spring Street. So,
Well, the block, well, it's more than a block, but from Wharton to Maine, that area on Spring, it is so tight there.
Yep.
The area where you live.
mhm.
And I don't know, it never used to be that way. Like,
Nope.
it wasn't always that way. And I don't know if it's now, I don't know why all of a sudden, but if,
As far as parked cars impacting,
well, yes. So
Yeah.
when you're driving and there's two cars coming, like, you can barely pass. Like, actually, it's not even always safe to pass. You have to, like, stop and let another car,
Yeah.
you know, if there are two cars coming, you have to stop and let the other car go because there's not enough room for two
Right.
cars to pass.
I think part of that is Nittany Place has gotten a lot more aggressive about parking in their area. They're towing cars out of there every other week of an unauthorized car parking. So you have visitors or unauthorized fifth roommates parking their car on Spring Street. So Spring Street's a lot parked tighter than it used to be, and that's probably part of that impact.
Oh.
And I don't know, again, I think the street's wide enough, Matt would be able to answer this, for parking on both sides. I don't know what there's
Yeah.
width requirements, but yeah, it's definitely gotten more congested.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Number 17, joint venture Veolia. Grace, note that there was no one here. And number 18 is council. Does council have anything?
I got something. I got two things. One is the Christmas tree looks awesome down there. When is the date of that? Just so we'll public.
Saturday after Thanksgiving, 29th.
29.
Is that right? 29th.
And I just want to verbalize this as Mayor Curry here is kind of exiting out after this year. I just want to thank him publicly just for his commitment to Christmas and the town, and it's definitely memories that I've built with my family having that tree and that the whole event. So it's great.
Thanks.
And it's also really good. I don't know the background behind all this, but it's good to see the Santa house there. That was a surprise. I drove by there today and saw that. So that was awesome. And to piggyback off that, I mean, that event has been so great throughout these years. I would like council to talk, just start thinking about it, I guess. I would love to do something for New Year's. I would love to do something for New Year's in our town. You know, especially when we think of our businesses in our town and and down here, the former Tattered Flag has a, new business going in there. I know they're trying to promote, and I saw them promoting stuff on social media.
Yeah.
It would be awesome down the road to start thinking through what New Year's could look like in Middletown. I don't know, have we ever done it?
Yep.
Have we?
Yeah, we used to have the fuck the gun.
Okay, yeah, I heard of the myths of the legend.
The legend.
The legend.
Yeah.
I heard of that
Legend.
thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Nah, this is what was Saul Swartz and Todd Webb used to do that in the square of
Union and Maine.
in Union and Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great. Anyway, just start thinking possibilities there. I would love to talk about that more with everybody.
Yeah, we
Great
used to
idea.
block off the street, shut it down. Yeah.
It was an object that was dropped, right?
Yeah.
Matt, is it stuck somewhere? Have you ever
In the
seen
shed
it?
down at. Oh, I thought it was
You-
in the shed.
We still have it.
It's down at Hopper Park.
Check and see, it was in the garage at Hopper Park, it may still be there, I'll check to see.
There's a lot of old stuff cleaned out
It's about, it's,
some years back.
yeah, it's like a silver,
Yeah.
Rich Seacrest made.
It's a weird looking thing.
I know a few years ago, actually, Council President Miller and I spoke to the Grove family about trying to do something that was Middletown specific. You know how some of these towns drop a whatever, and it has some sort of meaning to the community.
Like the pickle in Billsburg.
Right, right. and-
Bologna in Lebanon.
Right, and Jenny being involved with the Historical Society, and we had talked about the Mickey Mouse,
Oh yes.
because the Grove family, Mickey started in Middletown, not Disney, and we thought that that would be a neat thing, and I think the Grove family said they would be open to granting us the right to do it, because they own the image.
That would be cool.
Yeah, so
like
that
that
was
idea.
something that was discussed. And to your point, that with that brewery going back in, it'd be neat to have like a New Year's ball where they open the top
Oh yeah.
with those big windows. And you could do something, drop it down there, and then
Yeah, they would love that, I'm sure.
Yeah, they dropped the very first one of those. Yeah, they dropped right in front of
We'll
there.
edit that.
yeah.
So that was downtown.
That's a good idea.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Maybe you could make
just
a ball that
mispronounced.
looks like the lights going around it like a big electron and have it related to the power plant.
Oh.
Dear.
Oh, there you go, Nuke. Yeah.
You get constellation in on it.
Oh.
Oh, good
Oh,
idea,
gosh,
Ken.
man, we got some good ideas that could happen this year.
Huh.
Anyone else?
The fire chief apologizes for not being able to be here. He was planning on being here, but they are actually out on 2 calls right now. That's why he's not here this evening.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Is 18 and 19 the same thing? Okay.
It seems that way.
Okay. Now is the time of general public comment. Public comment is limited to 4 minutes. If you want to speak, you come up to the podium and sign in, and Grace will get the timer set. Is there anyone that has a comment?
Yes. I like the idea of downtown.
Can you state your name, please?
Foreman Goss, 51 Ann Street. In other places, they have like food trucks and stuff, and they get people to come in, like other breweries or wineries. I think that would be a great thing downtown. Get everybody in, because you have food trucks and all that stuff, and figure out what you're gonna drop, because
What you would
well,
drop.
I'm not, Red Rose one place, White Rose,
Yeah.
Pickle, over at Wilbur Chocolate, they drop the
Oh.
chocolate bar, you know what I mean, and Linnets.
Mhm.
Some places, one place drops a pretzel, it's just an idea, maybe we need to get some vendors in here, food trucks, and maybe like wineries or stuff for the whole family.
Thank you. Good idea.
Thanks, Norm.
Anyone else?
Jennifer Folliner, 138 Ann Street. So, got an update from the voting. I want to thank everybody who wrote me in, because somehow I tied with somebody in District 1-1 for the inspector, and I was not running. But thank you whoever in our public audience wrote me in, I appreciate that. That was a genuine, lovely surprise that I got today in the mail. I also wanted to give you guys an update. LIHEAP will be rolling out in the next month or two. The checks will be coming to, again, the residents, not necessarily the borough. So another thing that I'm trying to get some more information on, but since I'm not currently at the Department of Welfare, I will now be at Dauphin County Courthouse with the clerk of courts. I'll have a little less access, but I'll keep you guys updated. Food stamps are back and up and running. But I think we still need to talk about some additional assistance for our food pantries in town. As of January, everybody will have to reapply for food stamps and health care. Everybody must be required to work a minimum of 20 hours or volunteer 20 hours per week for 3 months, or you lose it for 3 years. After those 3 months, you must have a full-time job. Some of our residents are just not going to be able to do that. And under the Big Beautiful Bill, the restrictions have gotten much tighter. So I'd like to see if there's a way that we can maybe do a food drive for just Middletown, not the Boy Scouts, but to assist with our food pantries. And I did not know this church up the street from me closed down, but they also had a wonderful food pantry that helped. But just some thoughts and suggestions to move forward, as we are still going to have some residents who are going to be struggling.
Go ahead, I'll tell you after
I'm good.
you're done. The Essex House is running a food pantry too.
Okay, so then, do we want to put that on Facebook? Do we want to put something out there?
I think it's only for them.
It's on for where?
Essex House.
I didn't see anything yet.
Yeah, it's only for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much. I can't write that fast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jack Still. A couple things from what I heard tonight. They were talking about traffic studies. I think you could do an unofficial traffic study with those speed signs, because they have massive amount of information to them, don't they, Chief? That'd be an unofficial study, but it would give you a ballpark figure. Changing the Christmas displays yearly. Santa Claus doesn't change yearly, and everybody comes to see him. So I think changing things yearly is too often. The AT&T agreement. I mentioned that all the copper wires are abandoned because they're using fiber optics now. But you have to remember, the reason we had phone service for 100 years is for them copper wires. So be gentle. Pump primers. If you want to know what pump primers is, just Google pump primer and you'll see a pretty good web page. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Still.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks. Thanks, Jack. Anyone else? Seeing none, I need a motion to adjourn,
So
and
moved.
Second.
we will be going to executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.